Hi, BiFFs.
Hey, Beth.
Dear Abby.
Dear Kiki.
Captain.
Red flag.
Cheers to you.
Desperate housewife.
Pinot Grigio.
Doesn't want to marry
Loser
you.
power.
Love you like I
Or
love
more
you.
wine.
Don't talk to yourself.
Cheers, Biff. Cheers.
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised. This is Ill-advised.
Hey, BiFFs.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome to Ill-advised.
The podcast where two best friends tell you what to do when someone else already has.
Like your sister-in-law.
And not your pot distributor.
Yeah, no, they don't give a shit.
No, they don't give a flying fuck. They're like, give me my money.
Take
Here's
this.
your pot.
Good luck. Let me know if you like it.
Right.
Let me know if it's dank.
Is that it?
Dank.
What's dank? To me, dank
bud.
is not good.
Oh, in the weed world it is.
It is.
Dank bud.
Like, I think dank and I'm like,
Oh, dank.
fuck, that's gross. I'm thinking like a dank basement, like wet and gross and musty.
All right, that's fair.
Right?
But you're way off.
Let me know how your wet and gross musty weed is. I hope it's dank. We're your BiFFs. That's Stephanie. I'm Ray.
Mm.
And if you've landed on this podcast, it's because you were searching for us. Duh.
Under the mental health section.
As in, let me find podcasters that need mental health help.
Yes.
And we gladly accept.
Yes.
And every week we give you advice that only a best friend could over wine. Shall we?
We shall.
Let's shall. This week we are drinking a Sauvignon Blanc.
My favorite.
One of mine too. A 2022 from Lobster Reef, Marlborough, New Zealand.
My favorite.
Yes, it's the only Sauvignon
Zealand,
Blanc in
yes.
my... Although we did have an Australian one. I've said this before that we liked.
New Zealand isn't Australia. Oh,
Close though.
okay.
Okay.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Here you go.
Like geography.
Yes. Like geometry. You say tomato, I say lobster reef.
Yes.
Yes. Rock lobster! Exclamation point.
Yeah, acclamation.
Oh, I didn't say the S.
No.
Okay, let me try again.
Yeah.
Rock lobster! Exclamation point.
Exclamation.
Yes. These brightly colored crustaceans have made the Marlborough coastline home as long as anyone in the area can remember, and we thought their quirky nature perfectly reflected what Lobster Reef wines are all about.
Quirky?
Quirky.
Or corky.
No, quirky.
Like a cork.
No.
They don't even have corks.
They
so.
can't even fucking...
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're not that clever. They got twist-ons.
Twist offs.
Tomato. This refreshing Sauvignon Blanc with gorgeous passion fruit and stone fruit flavors zips along with firm acidity and finishes long, clean, and invigorating.
I want long, clean, and invigorating.
Hold on. Shouldn't it be, because it's a finish, shouldn't it be invigoratingly?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Enjoy with lobster, other shellfish, or fresh summer salads. This wine will be at its most rewarding over the next 2 years. 2 years?
Oh,
That's all it's good for?
We're a little early.
I suppose. Try it anyway?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Mm.
This used to be my favorite Sauvignon Blanc. I won't lie to you, I've had this before.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. I don't think it's still my favorite. I'd give it a 4 though. If it was there, I'd buy it.
What did we compare with Oyster Bay? I feel like this would be a good comparison one with Oyster Bay.
Maybe. I think Oyster Bay, at one point, it would be between this and Oyster Bay when I would find or look for a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
And then Oyster Bay just took my life over.
As it should have anyone's.
Right. And then after that, it was that one that with the, was it a wolf on it?
Yeah, you called it a sheep.
I called it a sheep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That one reigned supreme because it was the best Sauvignon Blanc I've ever had in my life.
It's really good.
It's really good. How you doing, Biff?
Fine.
I'm so convinced.
I'm not like down in the dumps, but there's definitely some things that I guess I need to work through or feel through or
through
Yeah.
to a great Biff.
Thanks. That's my life.
There you go.
How you doing?
I just am.
Yeah.
This is where I exist, bro.
In a good or a bad way?
I'm going to say good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I exist. Life's moving along. And the things that I have to bitch about are pretty superficial at best. So,
It's always a good thing.
yeah. That's all.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Here you go. You have questions this week, don't you?
We are going back to an oldie but goodie.
Oldie but goodie.
Carloyn Hax.
She's the meaning for the word. If
Washington Post Syndicate. I believe all of our questions are from 2019.
Sure.
I'll have to double check as I'm reading them. So shall we just jump right in?
Let's do this.
Okay.
This is what we're here for. People don't want to hear about anything else but the bullshit we have to spew.
Definitely not my brother.
Or your father.
He just doesn't want to hear us.
But he still does, doesn't he?
He does.
Sorry, Pops.
Okay. October 10th, 2019. Carloyn Hax. So the title is Time to Tell Best Friend About Her Husband's Groping Attempts.
Ooh. Oh,
Dirty dog.
Let me just stop and say that one day when this happens to me and I have to tell you about your man groping at me, because I know it'll happen, I hope you will receive this.
Punch you in the head.
I hope you will receive this with the utmost honesty, respect, and dignity that I can afford.
Depends on the advice.
It's not advice. I'm just letting you know.
I know, but...
He hit on me. He
Groped you?
He groped me.
Where?
My Oscar Mayer wiener. We're not being paid by Oscar Mayer. This would not be how they'd want to sponsor us.
Yeah, let's put this for our commercial. Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
This episode brought to you by My Baloney Has a First Name.
Okay. Dear Carloyn, this is a very difficult note to write. For years, I have concealed from my best friend. For years.
Years?
For years.
Oh, no. I would do it on the first attempt.
Okay. For years, I have concealed from my best friend that her husband attempts to grope me when she is out of the room. The first time it happened, I was in the guest room and he entered late at night and tried to kiss me, which I rejected in shock. My friend adores this man. She praises everything about him, his wit, his wisdom, and his appearance, and seems completely happy with him. Her social media feed is full of smiling photos of the two of them sharing adventures. I don't see my friend very often because she lives in a different part of the country. That's one of the reasons I haven't told her. Stupidly, I hoped it would stop happening. I also wondered if somehow I brought this on myself by being open and friendly. We'll get back to that. Until this happened, I genuinely liked him.
I'm sorry, I genuinely blamed him?
I genuinely liked him.
Oh.
Until this happened, I genuinely liked him. As well, I was sure the revelation would either destroy her happiness, which I had no desire to do so, or would turn her against me. Until this, I had no secrets from my friend. I go out of my way to avoid him whenever I see my friend and suggest we do things on our own. Recently, my friend told me I had changed. I was no longer the fun-loving person she remembered, and she was questioning our friendship. She asked what had happened to cause me to change. Is it time to tell the truth? Signed, Anguished.
Oh, Anguished.
So much.
Your first mistake, Anguished. May I?
You may.
Was not telling her the first fucking time it happened.
As much as I want to agree, let's not blame her.
Oh, no. I'm not blaming her for him. I'm saying your mistake in the process was not telling her the first time it happened, because here's the deal. And this is what I think I believe. So please change my mind if we're not aligned as per usual.
Will do.
Going back and trying to use past experiences as proof or as, some sort of context for new or current problems. Like, let's say he's hitting on you today, and today is the day you decide you're going to go and tell your friend. He's been hitting on me for years, or he's been making passes at me for years. Well, why didn't you tell me then? Like, you're not helping yourself by holding and prolonging it longer and longer and longer. Because I feel like the automatic stance of a partner is to believe their partner, like to hold on that. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're going to hold on to, but they're going to kind of jump to that. Like, this is my partner, this is the person I want to be with. So like, they're going to try to grasp onto some validity or some substance that they're kind of
They don't want to
spewing.
believe it.
They don't want to believe the negative, right? And so I feel like if you had been open from the beginning, you'd have more ground. And right now, I still feel like you should say something. And I don't think that this is your fault per se. There is one little part in there we need to talk about, right? I don't think this is your fault per se, and he needs full ownership over this. But I do think that anything that's happened in the past, it's not going to help you. Just mentioning that, like, this has happened before. This is like, you know, if you said it at the first signs of it, it would be like, oh, he's just trying to be friendly, whatever, and you can play it off. And the second time you say it, you know what I mean? Then you start building up on it. But if you're trying to use all of these past experiences to like, no, I'm going to tell you, it just feels like you stopped interacting or being a certain way around me because you don't like my man. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
I don't know how else to paint it.
I do.
I'm not saying to discredit like what she's experiencing or any of that.
No, you didn't.
I'm just
come
saying,
off
like,
that
you
way,
should
though.
have started from the first place, because it now feels like you're backpedaling. And if this is a friendship that you really did want to preserve, or that you do want to preserve, it would have been better to be honest from the beginning rather than wait until it came to a head where now your best friend is questioning your commitment to your relationship with them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Here's the thing.
Tell me.
If I meet your boyfriend, or I've known him, whatever, I'm around your boyfriend, and you're in the bathroom and he tries to grope me, and I tell you the next day when you and I are at brunch, it's so much more easy for me as the girlfriend of groping boyfriend to dismiss that because he only did it one time. Right?
Yep.
So then you tell me the first time it happens, I let it go. I believe you, but like you said, I don't want to, right? So I'm going to let it go as, you know, maybe we were drinking last night, or yeah, he just kind of is flirty, or, you know, whatever. Yeah. It's easy for me to let that go, right? And then if it happens again, you say it again. Now my issue is with you, not my boyfriend.
Interesting.
Right.
I was about to be like, no, I did say that. Like, I'm taking steps to tell you over and over that something's happening. And now I see where you're going with it, which is really interesting, because I think that would happen if you took too long to say something. So
I think if you came to me and was like, look, I wasn't really sure if I should, because it was only one time. Maybe we were drinking, whatever, you know, all the reasons why it would be easy for somebody to just let it go or whatever, you know. I did really like the guy. He does seem really great. I know you love him. I didn't really know how to tell you, if I should tell you. I didn't know if this was just like a fluke thing. You know, I let it go. Second time it happened. Now I'm just like, all right, well, maybe it happened a second time because I didn't say anything the first time, right? But now it's happened 3-4 times. Now I don't know what to do. Now it's like, this is who this person is.
It feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And it kind of is now on the girlfriend too. Yeah, I kind of had the feeling that he's this way. Or, no, you're just, whatever, that's how he is. He's flirty and you took it wrong. I'm going to defend my boyfriend and stay with him.
At what point, so actually not at what point, really, just based on what I've seen in our past with our friend groups and stuff like that too, there are women who blame
the girlfriend, the girl,
the best friend, or the friend for flirting with them and opening up the pathways to these types of interactions. Right. How do you avoid that?
I don't think you can.
No. Is that a security issue within the girlfriend? Like,
absolutely. She either knows better and chooses not to acknowledge it, or she just doesn't want to know better.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense.
So it's like, it depends on, I don't know, if this is shorty, I'm telling her the first time her boyfriend tries to grope me. You know what I mean?
I would tell you every time your boyfriend tries to grope me.
Well, right. But just like how I feel about shorty, you feel about me, I'm going to go drag my man out of bed the first time and whoop his ass. No questions. I'm not even going to give him the chance to.
Like, why would Shorty or Stephanie lie to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're not lying. Period. I'm
Plain and simple.
I'm not even asking you to give you a chance to defend yourself. This is what happened and that's it.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody I've known forever but aren't necessarily, like they said something about they don't see them that often.
Yeah, since they moved away though. And that's why she hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I picked up on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you had moved away, would you believe me less if we were living apart?
Not at all.
So their friendship is a factor on this. Like, how comfortable are you with this person?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know if you tell your friend something, she's going to know you're not lying?
Right.
Or is your friend kind of super wrapped up and not going to want to acknowledge what she may or may not already know?
Either way, it's a steaming pile of shit.
Yeah. And so isn't he, apparently.
I think you're going to do what's true to you and just be honest with your friend. You're not doing anything. You don't want that to be used against you. If he's already like making moves on you, is he as much of a scumbag to just kind of flip the script and be like, no, she was coming on to me? Maybe. Or like to use that later on.
What the fuck? I never did that.
Like, I don't know why Kathy's not hanging out with me anymore. I don't know what's going on. Oh, well, I need to let you know that she was hitting on me and I turned her down. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, cut it off at the pass, be honest, but be ready to cut your losses too. It's
yeah,
hard.
you know your friend. You know how your friend's going to respond.
Yeah.
Maybe you're hesitating on telling her because you know that she's not going to, even if she believes you're not, she's not going to leave him. Yeah. Maybe you know that it's...
Just cry. When all else fails, just cry. Cry and just be like, he hit on me. And he hit on me. That's all I got, Biff.
I know, I think I'm kind of with you.
But it's rough, right?
It is, because I think of like my closest friends. Like, there's zero chance I'm not telling them.
Right.
But it's because I know that they're not going to question.
But you know what? You're so convincing too. Like, you've got a way to deliver information that, it's not necessarily that it paints you positively, but so much that it makes you credible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can articulate better. Whereas like me, I'm like, that piece of fucking shit that just went to the bathroom and you're already on the defensive because I don't know how to approach it.
Yeah.
You know
I see
what
you're saying. Yeah.
Like, I know me. I know your hot boyfriend. And sure, maybe I wanted him to grope me, but he did it anyway.
Right.
And I was like, those aren't Stephanie's balls.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Hers are way bigger.
Like, hers are way better.
It's hard because, let's use Shorty for an example. We know the second we tell her that motherfucker just tried to grab my ass. Mm-hmm. She's literally whooping his butt right in front of all of us.
Yep.
No question. He's not even going to know why he's getting his butt whooped.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he won't think twice.
But because of that, say Shorty finally met, a seemingly really great guy and she's the happiest she's ever been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is where I was going to go with this too.
Yeah, we're not going to be as apt to be like, Shorty, this motherfucker, did you just see that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks.
Yeah.
But also, is she the happiest she's ever been if this guy is out here groping, especially her best friend?
Well, you know I think I would fall into that kind of like logic where I'm just like, oh, she's the happiest she's ever been because she doesn't know who he is.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd be like, no, I'd hate to make this decision for you, but the decision you're going to have to make is whether or not you want to be with him. And honestly, this is really rough for me to say, but you might want to make a decision yourself as to whether or not you want to stay this person's friend if they blame you or if they don't believe you, because you're going to put yourself through the torture of being subjected to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it a super solid friendship if
it's
your
not?
friends?
There's no foundation.
Right. Yeah.
It's all a lie. It's a farce, just like their relationship.
Yeah.
So,
which is telling on the individuals themselves.
So I say tell your friend.
Also, not for nothing, but you're kind of letting your friend be out here looking like an asshole.
Yeah, because you're being nice about it, and that's the part we haven't visited yet. Like, you're being nice about it and kind of like laughing,
hoping that he stops doing it.
Yeah, you did the wrong thing. And a part of me feels like just because you said that you kind of like it a little bit.
I disagree.
I don't know.
I wholeheartedly disagree, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It feels like that, like, oh, I'm just being like kind of about it. Because...
No, they also mentioned that they've like been kind of making it a point to avoid him.
Oh, right. You're right. You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, then I think the approach has been wrong this whole time, and you waited too long to tell your friend. I'm going to stand by that personally. I know it's hard, but if your foundation with your friend, is this a best friend or just a friend?
My best friend.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't really touch on, for years I have concealed from my best friend.
I did talk about for years, but
you did?
yeah, I did touch on that.
I didn't catch it.
It's too long.
1 or 2 times.
That's why I said it was like you waited
years
too long.
Years is too long.
Yeah.
The first 1 or 2 times,
maybe if we were drinking, I get it.
I think we can understand, I really didn't know if I should say something. I didn't know how to say something.
Right. The third time, you're just like...
Years. Even if it was 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And he stopped and you never told me until years.
How would you feel if I mean, this is a whole other level because you'd be like, oh, my boyfriend's gay.
I wish my boyfriend would grope you. Matthew probably would be the one to grope you.
Oh my God. No, he would not. He'd be the least likely.
He'd be the one telling me, your best friend just groped me. Just telling you this now.
I just wanted to know if the videos were true. I mean, I don't know anything about videos.
Oh, he's going to kill me.
Oh, whatever. Great money shot. I think that...
Sorry, Matthew.
You're welcome, Matthew. Sorry. Gay men, if you're not following Matthew.
Oh, God.
No, I'm going to stand by that. You should have said something at the beginning. Only because I think I would have. I'm 99% certain that I would have said something at the beginning. I don't think, because I think it's
How
very
about this,
forward.
though? Even if you knew it was a friend, that there's a heavier chance that they're going to fault you or not believe you or just completely dismiss what you're saying altogether and stay with him anyways.
I feel like they don't value me either way.
You're still going to...
I'm going to tell them.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, if they don't believe me, then that's my sign.
Yeah.
Do I want to value a relationship? Because then, then the shoe's on the other foot.
Or maybe
are you going to tell me if my man hits on you?
I'm at where I'm at, and I'm not in a place to see this man in any other light.
And that's okay.
Are you still going to leave the friendship?
I'm going to tell you what it is, and it's up to you to do with that information like you want, but I don't need to be a part of it if it makes me uncomfortable. I don't need to be a part of this friendship if I feel like every time we hang out or go grab a drink or go grab dinner or I want to come by just to say hi, that I'm going to be hit on by your man so that you can catch us and blame it on me. Like, no way, dude. No. It's not even about, the other thing I was thinking about was if you just stop talking to this friend or whatever, it's like you're trying to prove a point. But you can think what you want. I'm trying to be true to me and true to you and our friendship. And that's really all I need to sleep tonight.
Right.
Whether or not you believe me, that's on you, but my conscience is clear. Whether or not I feel bad for our relationship and our friendship is one thing, but my conscience is clear.
Real quick, though, before we end this question, I did want to... Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Oh, right here. When she says, that's one of the reasons I haven't told her. Stupidly, I hoped it would stop happening. I also wondered if somehow I brought this on myself by being open and friendly. My insides curdled.
Yes.
Curdled.
Yes. My response to that, you are not responsible for other people's actions. I understand feeling that way. But by keeping silent, you are assuming responsibility for his actions. By no means in any way should you hold that. I understand feeling responsible, but actually taking that responsibility, that's on him. That's not on you. I get that. I've felt guilty about things that weren't necessarily my fault, or maybe they were or whatever. But even if I put out the bait, it's on him whether or not he takes it. Right. That's how I feel.
I agree. But specifically, and this is not a male or female thing.
It's not.
If you cannot be friendly or open with somebody without them sexually assaulting you.
Yep.
For fucking sake. That in no way, shape, or form is your fault.
No. Please do not ever take responsibility for someone else's actions.
I was too nice to him, so he grabbed my ass?
You mean you're a decent human?
Right.
So I deserved this?
Right.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
No way.
I just quickly needed to...
Do you want the BiFFs to be mad at you for being a decent human? No way.
No.
Biff power.
But I get it. I get where she's coming from.
No,
I wanted him that, it happened 1, 2, 3 times. I don't see them super often. So I was hoping the next time I saw him, it didn't happen again. And also
Yeah, but years is what's throwing me off. Years. I don't know how many times it is in between those years.
Right.
You know what I mean? There could have been we saw each other in 2012 and then again in 2020.
Right.
And is that years, or is it we've seen each other regularly, annually, or twice a year, or once every few months? You know what I mean?
And also, how many times has this occurred?
I know.
In these
it sounds
years?
like it's for years. To me, feels like it's a lot.
Well,
but of
they
course,
also did
we
say
can't.
that they moved or whatever,
Yep.
so we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's happened 2 or 3 times, but they've seen each other 4 times.
Right.
So.
Right. All we can do is speculate.
Let's read the answer.
Please.
I'm sorry. Embracing her while avoiding him was a valid and compassionate choice, but only if you were able to pull it off. You weren't. Not your fault. Blame your friend's acuity and the quality of your friendship. What's acuity?
Her ability to own in on that.
Oh,
I disagree with that.
if I'm not in the room and my boyfriend starts
how am I supposed to
you?
perceive what his behavior is outside of here
If
when he's a
not
master
doing it
manipulator?
in front of me. Yeah, okay.
No, keep reading before I fucking throw a fit.
Blame your friend's acuity and the quality of your friendship. And, of course, the groper. They all made it impossible for you to distance yourself from the husband without also distancing yourself from her. So, plan B, you tell. Telling right away the first time would have been a valid and compassionate choice too, by the way, especially if you had reason to believe it wasn't a one-time or isolated mistake. That's because the validity and compassion lie in your intent. You kept the husband's secret not out of cruelty or self-preservation, but to stay out of your friend's marriage. That's fair. Now you'd be telling not to punish the husband or protect yourself, but instead to let your friend know her husband's behavior is costing her in a way she may not realize. That's also fair. Which brings us to another truth telling you're due for. Neither you nor anyone else invites unwelcome sexual advances, or if he succeeds in these groping attempts, sexual assaults, by being friendly. You weren't stupid to hope the husband would stop. You wouldn't destroy her happiness by telling your friend what happened. You wouldn't turn her against you. The husband is responsible for the groping attempts. The husband is responsible for not taking no for an answer. The husband is responsible if the truth of his actions destroys his wife's happiness. The husband is responsible if he falsely counter-accuses you, a real risk. The husband is responsible if your friendship ends. I'm sorry this happened to you. It's not fair, but it is your responsibility now to fill in the blanks for your friend.
I don't like that acuity statement, that it's on her for not perceiving or not honing in on it or not foreseeing that he was going. That's a whole lot of horse shit to me.
Right.
Right. No way. Yes, there are a lot of fill in the blanks here that she should be doing as the best friend. Absolutely. But to have the husband's wife be
it's her fault for not
attuned to this.
Yeah.
That's not. If that was the case, I wouldn't even tell her, just be gone.
If that was the case, narcissists wouldn't exist.
Amen. Because they're abundant. A lot of it else, though. A lot of it else.
A lot of it else?
Does that work?
No.
Nope. A lot of everything else. A lot of the rest. None of this is working for me.
What are you trying to say?
I have no fucking clue. The rest of it.
That works.
The rest of it works.
A lot of the else.
A lot of it else.
Can we
and the
use
rest
that
of
for
it.
a title?
I don't think
A
we
lot of
can.
the else.
Would you tap on that?
Just to see what is wrong with this person.
But I can kind of fall in line with the rest of it. But the best friend and not being in tune to it, no way. You can't. Again, taking responsibility for somebody else, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It never will. Unless you're a parent and you're taking responsibility for your kid. But,
right.
When we're both in our 30s or 20s or whatever the fuck it is, you're your own person.
Right. Also, love is blind is a real quote.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. Do you know how many times I've worn a blindfold?
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
All of us. I can jump on board her many reiterations of it is the husband's fault, ...
Yep.
Like, period.
Period.
It's the husband's
It's
fault.
all on him. And she's right. It's not fair.
It's not at all.
None of it is fair.
Because I totally get it as a girlfriend. Like, I don't want to break your heart.
Yep.
And that's what I may or may not be about to do.
Right.
Ugh.
That's the ultimate Biff question there.
Okay, next.
Next.
Okay.
Yep, me.
October 1st, 2019. Mother-in-law's control tactic is side eye and silence. Now what?
You manipulative bitch. I want that
Or
to be
genius.
my superpower.
Or genius.
I think my mom's superpower is like it's a squint and like you can hear, although she's not doing a you know what I mean?
Yes.
You can hear it, but she's not doing it. She's just got a squint. It's like a squint, but my eyes are wide open type of situation. Like her
laser
eyeballs are going to
beams?
pop out. No, it's much more deadly than that. And you kind of like
Hair
question your
removal
existence.
lasers.
It's just so, I can't explain it, but I find myself doing it to Wyatt sometimes. My head just whips around.
Oh my God, like the
And I feel
Samuel
my
L.
lips.
Jackson meme
Which
about
one?
the parenting when you just look at your kid like this until they behave, but it's Samuel L. Jackson with his face.
No, I don't know.
Oh my God, I'll have to find it
I
for
need
you.
to see it.
Let's.
Yes.
Okay. Dear Carolyn, I have a lovely mother-in-law. She is an amazing grandmother, and we can rely on her to do what she says she will do. She can also be selfish and overstep boundaries, and this seems to be getting worse as she ages.
Sounds like a mother-in-law.
And a grandmother.
And my mother.
And Greta's. When I ask her questions like, does she want to do this or visit on this date? Or when I try to establish a boundary gently, sometimes I get a look and a non-answer.
My mother. My mother.
She hears me. My husband will do this too, but I can ask him for a verbal response, even if it's, I need to think about that. Typically, it's when she doesn't want to do something or doesn't agree with me, but I'm not sure because I can't read minds yet. I don't expect her to agree or to say yes, but sometimes I do need an answer to continue planning. I just feel it's rude not to respond or say something. I have said things like, what do you think? And I still get a non-answer. It feels like a control tactic to me. Suggestions? Signed, blink one for yes, twice for no.
That's the best sign off ever.
It really is. I love it.
There's just some sort of superiority complex there.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, it's kind of like I can look at someone while I'm talking to you and my hitman will take you out without any
Yes,
words.
that was my first thought, that
Yeah.
she's used to doing this and the son immediately being like, oh, no,
Yep.
you know, maybe, you know, Mom, what do you want? What day do you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Like when she was describing that, all I could hear was my mom going, huh. You know what I mean? Like looking at you and then going back to the TV.
Waiting for someone else to do her.
No, just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh, like you think.
You like, I don't know who you are.
You think you're about to.
But this is my house,
plan
even
this
though
day
I'm
for
watching
me.
TV in your living room.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is an intimidation tactic. It's superiority. It's self-righteousness. Like, as the matriarch.
I agree, but what if it's I don't know how to tell you no, or that doesn't work for me, but I want to see my grandkids, so.
That's taking responsibility for somebody else, in my opinion. Like, I'm not going to sit here and anticipate your each and every single need as my mother-in-law, as my mother, as my partner, as my child. You're like,
You literally have to anticipate your children's needs.
well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I know what you're
please don't be a bad parent. Please anticipate your children's needs.
That's our job.
Literally.
No, I was just
What I
knew what
mean
you were saying.
is,
I knew
like,
what you were
you know, when you have the acumen to communicate and to articulate, I am not going to sit here and anticipate your each and every single need. It's not my job. My job is to be here for my children, to be here for, like, my job is to be here.
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And it's up to you to tell me what you're feeling and what your agreements or disagreements are. And I also understand the reticence to say anything as an in-law to the significant other, as to not offend them, as to keep harmony.
I know.
But you also need to be able to communicate things in a way where you need to prepare to either agree to disagree or be open to conversation to understand the other perspective.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And I think we can say this for all of our columns and in one way or another, all of the questions that we've read, because communication seems to be the bottom line on all of them.
Like 99% of them,
Yeah.
yes.
But, you know, approaching everything with an open mind and being a reasonable human makes a huge difference. It's a long-term effort, if you will. You know?
I agree. It's just
never that easy.
right.
It's not black and white.
I feel like there's not a majority of reasonable humans.
No, I think you're so right. You are so right. I am making a very terrible assumption in my response. But I have to say, like, when I'm worried about my family, the last thing I want to do is entertain maybe the prospects of somehow not articulating what you're feeling by a third party.
Clarify?
I just don't want to guess. I'm not waiting for your input. Do you have input? Do you reasonably disagree with me? Have you sat and talked through with yourself, like, what value do you have to add with your input to bring it to me? Then bring it to me. If all you have to contribute is a look and a sigh, or a look and a look back, or, you know, blinks that make sounds,
Right.
like cartoons, I'm not interested. Either you're ready to articulate to me or you have no input.
Well, I think that's where this person's at.
Yeah. I think they just need to take it for what it's worth. And if it's not worth anything, it's not worth it. I know that's a lot to say in terms of an in-law, but you can't guess. You're not a fucking psychic. Much that you'd love to be, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, like, I agree. But they said that they even, like, after the look, they, like, are still like, does that work? And it's still
the same thing. They're not articulating. You're giving them a lifeline. Does that work?
Right.
Is that okay? Like, and they're still not answering you? They're still giving you a look? They're still giving you a That's how I feel. Fucking Greta. That? That's HMPH.
A lot of H's. So after I had my daughter, without going into like history, my daughter wasn't planned, we'll just say.
Yeah, well, so as 99.9% of kids aren't.
Right, because you can't ever plan for them, even when you think you can.
Half the time you give up, and all of a sudden, like, wait, I just adopted an 8-month-old. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I wasn't super, I guess, familiar with his side of the family. Obviously, it took a while. And I actually kind of had, not like this, my daughter's father's mother.
Your daughter's Nana.
Nana. My mom's Nana.
Right. There's an accent mark.
Nana. Yes.
Oh, none of that.
She's amazing. I friggin' love her. She's an amazing Nana. In the beginning, there was kind of these things where I wasn't sure how to communicate. She was here, mind you, she lives, almost an hour away. And she was here weekly, to see Mia and I love that. But there was some weeks that I just either was busy or I just didn't want the company at that particular time. So there was 1 or 2 times that I had just kind of asked her if we could reschedule. Right. And I guess the second time of me asking this, she took it more personal. And she actually stopped coming to my house to see my daughter. She still sees my daughter. She stopped coming to the house because then she took it personal and thought that I no longer wanted her to come here.
Right.
And regardless of how many times I've told my daughter's father and her that, like, my mom's down south. She doesn't see my daughter.
Right.
So I love that my daughter has her, and it in no way, shape, or form was me wanting to stop the weekly visits.
Right.
It just literally was this particular week or day. And it never, to this day, she no longer comes to my house to visit my daughter.
Yeah, but only twice.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it was either ignore my needs just to kind of keep the peace, or it was to be vocal about what I was needing at the moment.
Right.
And now it's like, well, not anymore, but at that time, it just kind of was like this big, huge thing that like nobody talked about no more.
Right.
Like all of a sudden she just no longer asked to come visit.
Yep.
And so I don't fucking know. Like, you know what I mean? I love her. She's an amazing grandma. I love that she has my daughter. My daughter loves her. Like,
but are you taking responsibility for her interpretation of that because of something that you needed at that time?
I don't know.
Would you counsel someone who has been in your position to accept that responsibility? Or would you say, unfortunately, that was something out of your control?
No, I totally hear what you're saying. It just was like kind of lose-lose. And I feel like this person feels like in a similar boat. Like either I'm going to say something and it's going to cause this awkwardness where this lady is side-eyeing me and not saying a word, or I'm going to not say anything just to kind of avoid that. You know what I mean? It's not so much as like...
It's hard for me to be someone who is an adult to expect someone else to either bend to my will or to anticipate what my needs are. So I feel like, I don't know, again, we're more reasonable in that respect, right? Like where we're like, if we felt like someone was feeling a certain way, our side eye would literally not be a factor. We'd be asking questions, right, to communicate effectively,
right.
And it just doesn't feel like there's that type of cooperation going on here.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I agree, but I'm saying from the point of view of her, like knowing this, do I not say anything just to kind of avoid this, or do I say something and know that like there's a good chance that all hell's about to break loose?
Let hell break loose, in my opinion. You've got to take care of number one first.
I know, but that also creates a disrupt.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
You know what I mean? So it's
it
like...
absolutely does. I think
lose.
This is one of those situations where it's okay to be selfish. You know, that disrupt, are you going to accept the disrupt on their behalf, or are you going to accept it on your own? Is this going to happen on my accord or yours? It's okay to be selfish. This needs to happen for me.
I know, but if I'm aware that this disrupt is going to occur,
and that's hard.
It's hard
because you're a reasonable human being,
right?
Where the other person isn't.
Kids involved.
Where the other person isn't. I mean, I've not been in your position. I like my son's grandparents, liked my son's grandparents the same way that you do, but we've always been able to communicate. So that's different. Right. You know what I mean? Whereas like the other side of it is like just the assumption that you think that I think I'm insert whole bunch of bullshit here.
Right.
Right. It's just like, it's so presumptuous on their part to me that I'm just like, if you're not able to communicate, then like, do I really want to waste my time trying to convince you that I'm not the person you think I am after I've already spent all these years trying to convince you that I'm not the person you think I am?
I think it's more than that. I think it's like, I get that you're either expecting your own way or unsure how to handle or process my requests or questions.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just, I hear you and I agree with you. It's just when you're in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot more difficult
it's more of a hindsight thing than it is a present moment type of thing.
I have the ability to avoid certain situations. However, this may or may not impact me.
Right.
So it's like, what's the lesser of two evils?
Let's get to the response on this one.
You don't need to read her mind. You just need to guess at it. Nothing says you have to be right. I'll take that as a no, or I'll take that to mean you don't agree with me. Then I'll go ahead with X, with X being whatever your preferred plan is that doesn't require her input. So just let me know if you have something else in mind. Done. That way you have an answer. If not the right answer, which allows you to continue planning, and she has her opportunity to correct you by speaking up as she should have in the moment if there was something she wanted to say. Be prepared to hold your ground as needed if, say, she speaks up too late in the planning process. Plus, if these non-answers are in fact a control tactic, certainly sounds possible, then you'll have foiled it utterly. Projecting her answer and then acting on it means your plans are no longer at her mercy. Best of all, if cheerfully done, this tactic leaves the loveliness of your relationship intact. Think of it as a grand Jeté.
Huh? Pardon?
Jete.
Jeté? Are there any accent marks?
No.
Jeté.
Think of this as a grand
Jeté.
jeté over an
don't know.
obstruction, as if it's not even there. A grand jetty. A grand...
Isn't jetty a body of water?
I don't fucking know. A grand...
Jeté.
You're
A
right.
jump in which a dancer springs from one foot to land on the other with one leg extended outward from the body while in the air. It's a ballet move.
Just a Jete.
Jeté.
I can't believe you were right.
I can't believe I was right. I don't even French.
Okay. Last but not least.
Can we go over this response real quick?
Oh, right. I was stuck on jeté. You're right.
Let's before you jeté into the next one.
Wait.
I hope that was right. I like the whole like, oh, if you don't agree, floor is open type of approach.
Right. But until you say something, I'm going to continue with what I intended.
I like that response. I feel like I need a but in here, and I don't think I have one. Is there something here that you disagree with?
No, honestly, because I feel like that's how I would handle this particular
I think I would do the same thing, to be honest.
response. Like, hey, so Tuesday this week doesn't really work, but Thursday's cool. And then, right.
Sorry, I was role-playing with you.
No,
You suck at this game.
right. No, I was following.
Okay. Well, you had to verbally...
You didn't side eye.
Oh.
So if Thursday doesn't work, like, just let me know. But, if not, then 1:00 Thursday.
And scene.
Right.
Right.
So that way on Wednesday, if Grandma's like telling her son, because she's not going to say it to you, that like Thursday doesn't work. Well, guess what? It's Wednesday. So it's too late.
It's too late.
It's already planned because I said.
I know. I'm trying to prove what you said is a whole other fucking miserable disaster to begin with. But let's go with that.
So I think really that's exactly how I would handle it. Like,
I love that approach, actually.
I feel like that is the
It's
only
the
one.
only one.
Because otherwise you're going to sit here like, no, does that not work for you?
Right.
Like, are you going to answer me before Thursday? Like, did you want Wednesday? Because I need to know now because it's Tuesday. Right? Like,
It's Wednesday morning.
Right. So, like, I think that's what I would do. It's just like, hey,
I agree.
I was thinking Thursday instead of Tuesday. And
Thanks, Carolyn.
oh, no answer? Okay, well, we'll go with Thursday unless you say something now.
I like this one better than the first response.
I agree.
The first response, I was like, but this one.
Well, the first half of
the first response. Still.
Yeah,
a
'cause
response
the rest
is a
of it-
response. Whatever. Dear BiFFs.
Okay. This was October 14th, 2019. Girlfriend's, quote, horrible cat, possibly saving this man from a big mistake. Wait.
Can you imagine this cat pushing him off the
Is this
shelf?
pun intended? A real life cat?
Meow.
Or a pussy cat?
Right.
Girlfriend's horrible pussy cat. Saving the... Oh my God. Okay. Dear
Meow.
Carolyn. Okay. My girlfriend has a horrible cat.
Oh, a real cat.
We still don't know.
Okay, keep going.
Most of this is her fault because she's never tried to train. I can't. My girlfriend has a horrible cat. Most of this is her fault because she's never tried to train him out of attacking people, stealing food, and screaming continually in the night because he used to be an outdoor cat. Her parents live out in the country, and he was basically a farm cat my girlfriend brought with her to the city. She has not even had him fixed. That sounds very judgmental, but he's a cat.
I'm sorry. The fact that you had to validate that.
You can't blame him for this stuff. It's not like he knows better. I don't want to live with this cat. My girlfriend says my refusal to move in until the cat is gone is a, quote, me or the cat ultimatum. I don't think that's entirely fair. He is 18, so I can just wait out nature. So I can just wait out nature. I did suggest she could rehome the cat with her parents, who he used to live with, but that was the only, quote, give up the cat suggestion I made. We are fighting about this a lot. It seems ridiculous to break up over a cat when we both love cats. I mean, I don't like this one, but I'd certainly never want to see it harmed or unhappy. However, she doesn't want to start waiting for her beloved cat to die, and I will not move in with this animal. So maybe ridiculous is all that's left? I'm also allergic. You couldn't have led with that.
Literally, that would have been it.
Like, what the fuck? You could have skipped everything you just said.
Everything would have been.
My girlfriend has a cat, but I'm allergic. This guy just dug his own grave.
Yep.
My girlfriend doesn't believe me because I had cats on my own as a kid, but it's usually mild enough to medicate away. This cat is, possibly from sheer force of will, more allergy-inducing than most. Not enough to endanger my life, but not pleasant to live with. Ultimatum or condition?
In this case, what's the difference? Is that fair? Is that valid?
Yeah, I mean.
So the cat just hates him?
Yeah.
What the fuck do I say? I feel like he's tried everything.
Because, well, if my boyfriend approached the situation like, I don't like your cat, like, I don't give a fuck. But if he was like, oh my God, babe, I love your cat, but I'm allergic.
That would be at the beginning stages of our relationship.
Like,
and you would know before you asked me to move in.
Right. But I'm also going to be more apt to rehome my cat or send him back to my parents or, you know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're just like, this fucking thing's evil, I don't fucking like him.
Meow.
And I'm not moving in until he's gone.
Meow.
Also, I'm allergic. Then I'm going to be like, I don't give a fuck if you're allergic. Get over it. You just don't like my cat.
You just don't like my cat.
You know what I mean? He handled this all wrong.
So this is not a metaphor.
He handled this all wrong. No, it's not. No, it's a literal cat.
Because she can't get rid of that cat.
Right. No medicine in the world. He dug his own grave. You handled it all wrong.
You did it backwards.
You did it so backwards.
So her perception is you don't
like my cat. So now you're just like making up all this bullshit.
Yeah, her perception is you just don't want to. Right? Am I off base?
For me, I would say yeah.
Yeah?
Her perception is you don't like my cat. So now you're just finding every excuse.
Not like, oh, my cat's now an excuse because you don't want to.
Oh, no, I didn't get that vibe.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get that vibe.
I did because the way that you were reading it. Or maybe it was my interjected mouth.
Maybe. Because there was a whole lot of specifics about this cat. Why he doesn't like him.
This cat is fucking evil, it sounds like.
This cat's hilarious.
Literally pushes him off the kitchen table. Can you picture?
Your inhaler? You mean this? Are you dying right now?
Bow.
Bye. Let me come walk across your chest to make sure you're still breathing.
Still moving? I'm off.
Right. I say this guy's fucked because you didn't handle it properly.
How do you handle this?
You lead and only stick with
from the beginning, right?
I'm allergic. You don't say anything else.
I think the allergy thing is, to me, it's just such a cop-out at this point that I can't consider it.
Right.
He waited because you've already, even in this question,
right? Because you've already made hundreds of other reasons why you don't like this cat, why he's annoying, this, that, and the third. Yeah, I agree.
If the allergy was the highest priority, then it would have been something sensed on. And when she asked you to move in, you would have been like, okay, but you know I'm allergic to the cat.
Right.
This is why we spend time at my place.
Absolutely.
Yada, yada, yada. The allergy thing is just oh, by the way, you know what I mean?
Right.
It just
Yeah,
feels like such
I
a
agree.
cop-out. It's kind of
I
bullshit.
agree.
You know,
And now as the girlfriend, it's like,
you don't
But
treat pussy that way.
I'm not getting rid of my cat just because you don't like him.
Right.
Like, don't move in then.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, you might die from my cat.
Or you don't like the cat and my parents can take him and I'm not like, sure, I'll miss him, but I really want this relationship to work.
Yeah.
The approach matters.
Right.
Right? What was the exact question? How does he...
I just kind of left it with ultimatum or condition.
It's not an ultimatum.
I think he
Or
said
maybe
that
it is.
she took it as an ultimatum.
Well, it kind of sounds like that. Can you really blame her?
My girlfriend says my refusal to move in until the cat is gone is a me or the cat ultimatum.
But it's
So that's
also
how
what
she's taking it.
condition. I don't see the difference personally.
Well, that's where he fucked up.
Yeah.
If he would have just said like, I love this cat, I'm just dying.
Yeah.
Then it would have been more.
You know what? I'm going to take it all back. I feel like the cat's an excuse.
Continue.
This just kind of occurred to me. Why would I mention an allergy second? Why would I, Stephanie, I'm not moving in with you because I don't, your cat's evil. It's whatever. It's been gnawing at my things.
He
attacks
cries in the
me.
middle of the night.
Yep, he's a mower.
Also, I'm allergic.
But I'm allergic too. What? No.
Right. I don't give a fuck about your allergies. You just don't like my cat.
You're right. He approached it the wrong way, but it also sounds like the cat's an excuse because you don't want to.
I feel like he would have said that.
No, I don't think so. Not if he mentioned the allergy second.
But I feel like he would have said, like, I don't really want to, so I'm saying that this cat is whatever. I'm also allergic to cats, but it's not life-threatening.
That's the part that's throwing me off. To me, it's like, it's not life-threatening. You didn't think to mention that first, so it's really not that big of a deal.
Well, he said, my girlfriend doesn't believe me because I had cats of my own as a kid, but it's usually mild enough to medicate away.
That part I can kind of buy into because when it comes to new animals, if I can get used to their dander.
Possibly from sheer force of will.
Oh my God.
More
it's the cat, right?
Allergy-inducing the most.
If it's
this cat is just out to get me.
Literally. I can get used to what animals dander over time. It's not like I got used to one cat, I'm used to all of them.
Right.
To me, like I get used to one, I get used to that cat. And then the next one I have to get used to that one too. Like my body just does what it does. And
it's not like life
it's allergy
threatening.
Season. Right. I feel like it's an excuse just because he was like, plus I'm allergic. It's kind of like, like I can't go to the circus because they have peanuts everywhere and peanuts really annoy me and people just munch on them and make really loud sounds while they're chewing them with their mouth open. By the way, I'm deathly allergic.
Right.
Like,
no, I agree.
I didn't go to the circus because I'm deathly allergic to peanuts. Yeah.
He's not deathly allergic, but I agree.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Lead with, it's usually not a huge deal. I have an allergy to cats, but I can usually pop a Zyrtec. Is that what it is?
Zyrtec, Claritin, Allegra.
Right, and it's
just
not a huge deal.
Make sure it hurts.
I'm taking 4 Zyrtec and still feeling allergies. Not like this cat's evil. He's out to get me. He isn't trained. He attacks people, and I'm allergic. You know what I mean? You just dug your own grave.
Which way do you go, George? Which way do you go?
You just dug your own grave. And now you literally are not going to move into your girlfriend's house because
you're either stuck with that cat or
stuck with her cat.
I hope this isn't a metaphor because we're not picking it up. We want to pick it up because can we forget everything that we just said and just go to the response? Because how?
Yeah, I got nothing more.
What's the response to this?
Okay. Ready?
Like, you know what I mean?
Quote, I am also allergic. My girlfriend doesn't believe me. Unquote. Is it possible the cat is your guardian angel? Entertainingly packaged as a feline hell beast? I'd move in with a screaming, aggressive, unfixed barn cat before I'd move in with someone who dismissed my health issues as a ploy to get my way.
Oh, interesting spin.
Allergy deniers have featured in some of the most horrifying stories ever published in this space. It's sociopathic. I fucking don't agree.
What? I feel like this is such a reach.
She's calling you a liar. See? No more, quote, ridiculous reason to break up, unquote. And no cats had to die in the making of this answer. If you need other reasons, then see what readers said.
That felt like a reach.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to go with that? Yeah, that came with 3 ellipses.
I know. There just is a couple more responses, it sounds like, from
readers.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. I feel like we'd be here all day long.
The cat has a horrible girlfriend.
Oh my God.
If she hasn't bothered to have her cat fixed, she is responsible for a lot of this behavior. So I didn't like this response at all.
I didn't love that. I can't even recall it.
That she just is dismissive of his allergies.
Right.
And like, so now she's the devil.
I feel like the way that you phrased the question matters. Like that should have led. If you wanted this response to go in your direction, whether you were being honest or not, wouldn't you lead with the allergy?
I think that would be the only argument that I bring up.
Yeah, except for evil satanic kitty.
But the second that I say, like, I'm allergic to the cat, but also he's an asshole. I don't like him. He attacks me. He cries all night.
You just don't like cats.
You're
making excuses.
Right. Now I'm no longer hearing what you're saying. Now I'm just hearing you don't like the fucking cat and...
Right.
You know what I mean? Had it only been like, babe, I'm fucking wicked allergic. Like,
which she would have known
right
before this conversation, right? Presumably.
Maybe.
Is that fair?
But he said it's typically handled just fine with medication.
Right. But wouldn't she have known that like he needs to medicate to be okay with her cat?
Well, I think his argument would be that like typically I can just pop a pill and be fine. But this cat, I pop a pill and it's still very bothersome.
I see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like usually it's not a huge deal. I've had cats my whole life.
Your cat has mega dander.
Yeah, right.
And it's ruining my life because I'm the only person that's allergic to this cat.
And stop. Don't say a single thing about he's an asshole. He attacks me. He cries at every hour.
Right. If you're going to manipulate, you know what I mean? Like, do it right.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But you fucking did it wrong, bro. You just don't like the cat. And we get it.
You don't like the cat. And in addition, you're a little bit allergic.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. I don't feel like that part's that relevant because of the way it was presented.
And that's exactly how the girlfriend
and she's going to take it, right?
Which is why I don't agree with this response.
I think it's a little bit of a loaded response.
Because it feels like you're telling all the real reasons why you don't like that cat. And then finishing with also I'm allergic. Mm-hmm. So the girlfriend's like, I don't give a fuck. Right. You're not that allergic. No. You've had cats your life.
Carolyn, this is 2 out of 3 out of the million we've done of yours that we can't get behind.
Especially this last one. Like, what?
What? Yeah.
The girlfriend feels how we feel.
Literally.
How did you not feel how the girlfriend felt?
Right.
If you were allergic, then say that.
Right. It's just like...
Not like, oh, she's a fucking devil for not believing you're allergic.
Right. Oh, that's Satan's pussy.
Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Both you pussies are the devil. Yeah, I'm with you, Biff.
Oh, fortunately for our listeners, that's all we've got this week. Because we could go on forever on these. These were fun.
They were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. That's all we've got this week. I believe that this week, right before we recorded this episode, Biff and I had recorded an episode for the Let's Rap podcast.
Yes, kind of a part 2.
Part 2 to our episode now on theirs.
Right. Yep.
And it was another round
seriously so good.
Fantastic conversation. we can't.
We're going to have to do a part 3.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a part forever.
Right. We can't get through.
These conversations are great. And I think I appreciate it because they're taking it from a male perspective, the female perspective, and the LGBT perspective. And it's just like such an open conversation that even from our first conversation to this one, it's been more of like a people centric rather than a male or female. And I really appreciate that. Like considering that all the different dynamics, like, you know, yes, we're considering men. Yes, we're considering women, but also we're considering other
different dynamics.
Yeah. And that matters.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And I
love that you can still come in as, you know, like me, I'm more traditional. So I kind of lean towards the male female perspective. And so you can still get that. But from people that don't, you know, that are less traditional or whatever, they can still come in and get a different perspective.
Yeah, there's value for everyone in those conversations.
It's not just...
Yeah, it's just such a fascinating conversation when you have, in our case, 4 people who are open to different approaches and different responses to psychological pressures. And different
walks of life and different...
It's just so valuable.
It's so good. It's so good. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I will definitely post a couple of stills from that. But in the meantime, please send us your questions, your comments, and all your concerns, illadvisedthepodcast@gmail.com, or catch up on all of our episodes at illadvisedthepodcast.com.
Also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Ill-Advised the Podcast.
Yes. And
check out Let's Wrap.
Yes, please listen to Let's Wrap.
They're really great.
Such a great, I mean, we'll be there more and they'll be here more and there'll be a lot of more here and there.
Yeah. All the more.
All the more reason to, you know, keep it up. And you're fantastic. You're wonderful. You're gorgeous.
You're allergic to her pussy.
Take Zyrtec for her pussy, and thank you for listening.
You've been ill-advised.